So I've started to go back old school, writing notes and stuff in books, which I like. It's something I can always go back and look and just, hear my thoughts and clean it up. So I was just writing to myself about how I feel about finances. And, it's embarrassing to share, but usually what I do before I say something out loud publicly, I try to deal with it myself. So when I say it publicly, I'm okay with sharing it. You know what I mean? I'm a tough person. I'm not a softie at all. So I don't like for people to feel like, oh, you just said that. Oh, I don't like that. But anyway, so I wasn't taught anything about finances. And it's funny because I was having a coaching session with someone, and when she said to me, how do I feel about money? What's my relationship with money? I realized I didn't have one. Like, I was never taught to value money in any way. It usually wasn't around. And then when it was around, it was Taxmas time, which means somebody got their income tax. You're feeling fine and great because you got quite a few dollars on you. But then what do? You buy something that you possibly don't even really need, or you go and start spending money or giving it away, thinking that people are going to do the same thing for you when they get their money. And then, this is like February or March, this happens. So by June, the latest, guess what? Your ass is broke. And guess what winds up happening? Nobody's there to give you anything. So now you want the rest of the year to hurry up and go by so you can get that W-2 again. And if you think I'm lying about people thinking this way, think about how many people take their last paycheck and get their taxes done. I remember that was not a thing. I remember that you had to wait until you got your W-2s in the mail, and they have to be sent out by law no later than January 31st. So sometimes you get it by the beginning of February. But there was no take your last pay stub and get your taxes done until, I'd say somewhere within the last 10 years. So I say all of that to say that I know I'm not the only one that has a jacked up relationship with money. And I've been working to change it myself, because honestly, when I hear other people talk about it, it's not realistic to me. It doesn't touch me and hit me the way that it needs to. So I feel like it's not that what they're saying is not true. I just need to baby step my way into it because I want to stick with it. So it's kind of like working out. I can't go from not working out to lifting 350 pounds. That doesn't make sense. But if I gradually go, I start with 35 pounds, get used to that, then increase it in increments of 10 or 15 or whatever the case is, then I can get there, right? So I'm just saying that financially, that's one thing I said I was going to work on. I had a conversation with God, and intentionality and finances. Those are going to be the two things that I work on, because when my cup runneth over, I can't have it where I put somebody else in charge of my stuff and they wind up jacking me up. And that's happened to plenty of people, even people who have had financial education, and they still might slip a little bit because they see it coming in and they feel like, oh, how am I going to be broke when I have hundreds of thousands of dollars? That's just not going to happen to me. So I'm doing it too, because I want my children to live differently than I did. I want them to understand money. I want to be able to give them money and say, listen, this is yours. If you spend it, that's it. It does not come back to you. Whatever you decide to do with it, make sure that you've thought about it. And guess what? You don't have to spend it. You don't have to do anything with it. You can just hold on to it until you are ready to spend it. And then you can see the value, because you don't have to spend the whole thing. You might get some change back, even with a debit card. I want to teach them about stuff like that now, because it wasn't taught to me. I had to learn all of this stuff on my own. And being 40 and learning stuff like this when you get into your 20s, it's bad. It's bad. But I just wanted to share, because I know there are other people out there that are embarrassed that they don't know more about certain things in their life. And I am tired of being embarrassed about stuff. Everybody grew up differently. Everybody had different values. Some people had none at all. So I don't have time to be embarrassed. I have time to get my shit together and be better, okay? Because I know I'm out there talking to the people who need to hear it, and I want to help you the same way I help myself. I want to learn and grow, and then pass it on to help you as well, so you can be better and you can be successful at whatever it is you want to be.